So, how can place be a character? Well, the first thing you have to do is remember that the word character doesn't always mean living things, be they human or otherwise. Anything that can impart an effect, a meaning, a assistance to story or plot or to motivation, any of those kinds of things, that is a character. And in True Detective, the wilds of Louisiana's bayou country is most definitely a character. So let's discuss this. Firstly, how do we know? Well, we're probably inside, outside, roughly half the time when we consider the case, not thinking of the domestic stuff. But Rust is constantly investigating, so he's constantly going to these different places. And there's always this kind of degree of seediness or grunge because, that's what he does. He's a homicide detective with a vice detectives and narcotics detectives background. So these are the places he knows and these are the places he inhabits. And the shots we get of these places tell of a life that isn't very pretty in the backwoods of Louisiana. In addition, to have all of these shots, to get the exteriors we get, to see like when Rust is looking to talk to some hookers. At one point he does it inside the truck stop. At another point he does it on the street. These are all choices. So at any point that we have a shot of the exterior for any reason, and we keep either getting it repeated or we keep seeing like a visual motif, be it lighting, be it setting, be it costuming, we have to look at what other things are connected to that visual motif. And speaking of visual motifs, the biggest visual motif is all the huge wide shots we get of the exterior, the helicopter shots, the extra wide shots, and what they're telling us, right? We're getting all of these shots in these 4 episodes that have passed that just show vast expanses of nothing. Just nothing. We're not seeing towns. We're not like following a car in a car chase where the car is the subject. When you see a wide shot that doesn't involve the characters, or an extreme wide shot or a helicopter shot where the focus isn't character driven, then that shot is telling you, look at what I'm showing you. And if I'm showing you the land, then that's what you have to look at, and you have to say why. And then when you see it over and over again, multiple times within an episode, each and every episode, you realize that the director, Fukunaga, is doing something here, is trying to impart information about this series through these shots of the land. The other thing I want to say about the shots that we get of the exterior is quite often there is the contrast or juxtaposition of this beautiful, verdant, wide open bayou country and the factories, the industry, which you've heard me mention a few times in the episodes. And this clash. When we're taking these shots of this outdoors, this gorgeous bayou, we don't have to include that ugliness. Why would we? It's ugly. It mars the beauty. If the director is trying to give us this idea of wild isolation, well, seeing a factory smokestacks kind of breaks that apart because we know that there are dozens, if not hundreds of individuals working at that place every single day. So why include it? And the reason the factories and the oil refineries and things are included is because they do blot the landscape. They are an eyesore. But more than that, in real life, their presence in these places could lead to, or has led to, environmental damage, wildlife and habitat destruction, disease, like cancer and other things to people living around them. They aren't just an eyesore in that they clash with the surroundings visually, but they have actually hurt the population of humans, plants, and wildlife. And that's key. because we could kind of look at them as either a poison or a disease right in front of our eyes, but no one's doing anything about it, and no one really notices or cares that they're a poison or a disease. Just like when in episode 1, when Russ passes the billboard and we get a shot of the billboard of this random girl having been missing. I believe that's kind of a connection to this whole thing. We have this huge billboard talking about this girl, but she's still missing, or else we wouldn't have that billboard. Why hasn't she been found? Why is she still missing? And I think Rust is having these same thoughts. And we can also tell when he's going through those manila folders of all those DBs, as he would say, all those dead bodies, all these girls, and no one has made the connection. No one has cared to make the connection between some of these murders that Rust finally makes the connection on. Dora Lang was just murdered in the series' continuity, but we've got murders stretching back years that connect to her, that have all the same markers, both physically and in autopsy, but no one cares about this. It's right in front of their eyes, but no one's bothering to look. They are from rural, economically deprived areas, so we're just going to sweep them under the rug, which is an attitude Marty held up until this episode. They were going to get swept under the rug. They were going to be handed off to the task force, but Russ wasn't going to have that. And all of this goes back to where are all these crimes taking place? In this wild, infected exterior, in this beautiful bayou that has a poison living in it. Not just the poison of the factories, but the poison of the serial killer, the poison of whoever these people are that are connected to this Carcosa and the Yellow King. And this poison, I'm going to explain to you, stretches even further than what we have been led to believe or shown thus far. We've actually been shown it already, but it's a hard connection to make because it's lying in the background right in front of our face, but we didn't take the time to notice it. Just like the refineries, just like the factories, just like the serial killer. All right. I hope this helps make sense of some of these outdoor shots, why we're getting so many of them, and why I keep talking about them and will continue to talk about them. I will reference this video going forward so that if you listen to something on an episode and hear me come back to this video and you're hearing me say this now, you're like, oh, okay, I get it. Until the next time, take care, y'all, and keep on viewing.